Thank you so much for joining #fallgathering. Hi, I'm Nicole with JunkN and more. Welcome. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, any social medias. I'd also like to introduce Barb's What Country Kreations. She makes wreaths, sells ribbons, embellishments, attachments, and more, all on Etsy. Be sure to visit her shop. The first project we're working on is a copper Brillo pumpkin, and the supplies we used were from the Dollar Tree, and they are the copper scrubbing pads, a branch from my yard, and all I did is I took the Brillo pad, a piece of stick, and I glued it right into the center. I lost a video of it, and I'm sorry, but really it was that simple. Just a Brillo pad, a little piece of stick, and a leaf. I'd also like to introduce you 3 princess designs. Not only does Amy make wreaths, but she also has tumblers, signs, arrangements, and she offers customization. Our next project is going to be a mini palette sign. Again, all these supplies were from Dollar Tree. It's just a little mini palette, and the markers I'm using are actually for wood repair, and again, Dollar Tree. And since there was 4 slots and 3 colors, I left 1 neutral, and then I just went in almost an ombre effect from the lightest color to the darkest color. And you can see here, I'm just simply doing straight lines, and I'm trying to get the edges as best I can. I was unable to get inside the creases there, but I'm not worried about it. The overall effect looks nice. Here I'm on my phone, and I simply Googled fall sayings, and I found one I liked, and now I'm just marking it on the paper there to make sure I had all the letters, and I did. So I cut out the letters that I was going to be using. The saying that I'm going with here is pick of the patch. And I'm just going to go ahead and use it on 3 of those 4 slots, or the pick of the patch, I believe. Now I'm doubting myself. Anyway, these stickers were actually really awesome. They're rub-on. So what you do is you just cut out the ones you want, you place it down on what you're sticking it on, and you simply rub it. And then you peel it off, and it leaves the gold letter right there on the product itself. I had to pick up that C so I can get the K close enough. But it really is a pretty effect on there and so simple to use. And I used 1 sheet, and I can still get more words off of that sheet. So the 1 word I could get still off of it was Nicole. I want to put that on my phone, but I digress. It's a whole separate project there. But right here I got pick of the patch. And what I'm going to do is simply decorate the bottom with some white pumpkins that I had on hand and some moss with some hot glue, and that just makes a cute little sign for your tiered tray or a mantle or just sitting on a coffee table. I'd like to introduce Stella Rose Kreations. They offer custom apparel and home items, personalized and made to order. The next craft we'll be working on is a pocket book. The supplies that I used was my hot glue gun, a book that I picked up from Dollar Tree, but any hardcover will work, scissors that have seen better days, wire cutters that have also seen better days, and your pick of flowers. I also used an old pair of jeans. So what we're going to do here is remove the paperback cover, but I genuinely loved the cover on this book. I thought that was just so pretty. I could so see this used as spring just because of those colors, but really any holiday you'd be able to work off of that one. And I want to go ahead and remove the pocket from these pants or jeans, and this is where we get our pocket book. Get it? I'm trying real hard to cut on the seam. I want to wrap my book in the denim, but I want it to be seamless. However, I still need the pocket. So I'm trying to cut as close as I could to the edge. Sorry, I missed that double tap to edit there. I'm new to the whole technology, and I'm really bad at it. I apologize, but we're just going to not acknowledge that. So what I'm doing here is I had cut it a little farther away just to be able to get it separated from the denim. And now I'm just going in there in order to do a finer cut. And here, right up against the seam again. And I did keep the back pocket of it. You could have removed it because technically we're going to be gluing it onto the jeans. But I did keep it on there. And I think that would have just looked cute just like that. Right on the book because of the colors. But because that wasn't going to match the decor I was going for today, I did decide to wrap it. So I'm just taking a pant leg. I'm going to measure it around to make sure that I can cover it on both sides. And I will give myself a little extra just for, you know, in case. Yeah, that's it. I'm cutting along the seam because I'm trying to have as much seamlessness as I can on wrapping the book. Now, it wasn't possible for me to get it completely seamless. What you'll see me do is I'm going to make sure I get a seam right into a crease of the book. That's where I'm seeing here. Yep, right into that crease. Because I know I'm going to put glue right to there. And then I'll be able to wrap it. And I'm just checking, making sure I'm gluing that seam down first before I start gluing it to the book. This way it doesn't move and shift on me. Keeps it in place for what I'm doing it next. And there. Now I just put the glue right on that seam, and I put the book seam right onto there. And you'll see me in a moment. I'm going to go through with my fingernail to try and give it extra definition. I do the same thing here. And it just allows you to see that binder of the book. Making sure I got it all over. Cutting off that seam. It worked easier to bend and fold without any seams on there. The seams make it thicker and bulkier. And for a cover, you're not looking for thicker or bulkier. I'm just going to wrap it around, kind of like how you would wrap your school books back in the day, if you remember. And I will tell you something that I didn't show that I did do. After I had all of the denim glued on the inside, I took that first blank page and I glued it on top of the denim so that when the book is open, it still looks pretty. It has like a finished side. You don't see all of my denim overlaps. I'm trying to make sure I get it nice and tight on that seam. I'm cutting off any extra because I'm not looking for that bulkiness. I'm trying to keep it as flat as possible. And while it's impossible to keep it 100% flat, I did try to keep it as flat as I could. Cutting off that extra bulkiness. I didn't need all that seam there. I needed some, though, just to be able to wrap it. And see how it's not a nice, pretty finished look there? That's where that paper that's over on the right that I'm holding there, yeah, that one. You go ahead and just glue that down and it covers everything up. When your book is up and, as an actual stand or prop for your flowers, the pages might be opened a bit and you could see inside, and that's where that just gives it a finished look. Again, I'm cutting out. In the center, I cut out along the binder as close as I could. When we get closer in the video, I'll show you. I'm gluing my edge there to hold it down. Cutting off my excess. Gonna wrap. And you see where I slice it so that you don't have it in the binder center. Again, rough edges. But that's all hidden, so we're okay. Doing the same thing on the other side now. You do want to make sure that you can still bend your book when it's closed. If you do it too tight, there won't be enough give in the fabric for you to be able to wrap or close your book when you, I'm trying to close it. So when you do glue it, make sure you do glue it when it is closed. Now see it here in the center, you see how close I cut the fabric to it, and I'm just trying, and you'll see it better in the next. Again, sorry folks, technology ridden. But you see how nice and clean I have the edge right there in the center of the binder. I just cut it really short and just glued it directly there. I didn't give myself a lot of excess in that spot because it would be visible. my corner is too bulky. I'm cutting off that extra. And now we'll be able to see better down here what we're doing. So that's that center piece of the binder. I'm just lifting it up to make sure I'm giving just a little bit. I gave myself just a little extra in that center piece. See it there? And now I'm just going to glue directly onto the cover of the book on that binder and fold that little piece right onto it. And it gives it a nice, clean, finished look. Just pressing it into place. And that's it. I'm going to cut a triangle off over here. And the reason why you do the triangle, it's kind of like wrapping a gift. Just to take that bulk away for when you fold it. I didn't cut enough off, so I'm going back in. And we're just going to fold this right down onto itself. There we go. If it gives you a problem, cut it. Problem solved. Ta-da! And now we have our book. I actually decided, I put my pocket on upside down for the book. Like if you opened a book, it would be upside down. But it was only, I like that one side better than the proper side, so that's why I did it. See, I didn't like how you could see. I liked how the definition of the binder right there. Ultimately, you can't see it. The pocket was too big for the pants. For the book. So I was okay with that because it created it, created a nice thick pocket that you could really put a lot into that pocket because there's a lot of give in it. And I was okay with that. Because what I do like about this idea, you can change this for any holiday that you want. Whether you want to, for spring, put some, Easter lilies in it, or spring-colored flowers, a little bunny on the pocket. For Christmas time, you could put a little, if red trucks are your thing, get a little red truck ornament, put that on the pocket and fill it up with your poinsettias or whatever is your decor. I think that this is one of those craft ideas that you can genuinely make it whatever you want. And it's different. Who would ever think of a pocket on a book? But it makes it self-standing because the book itself is weighted. You can open it up even more to give it a better balance or stability. So I do think that this is something that can be used over and over for different seasons. And everyone has an old pair of jeans that they can use. So just be on the lookout for that. I always try to look for different ideas using unusual things because that's part of my niche is I don't like to do normal. And I don't think that this is normal. And I love it. So you see how the pocket has some bulge in it? That's because the pocket was bigger than it needed to be for what it fit. So I kind of just let it be bulkier. I just made sure to glue all the edges right on all the seams right to the edges. And it still fit in there. And now I'm just taking some sunflowers that I had. And I'm putting them in there. This is where you would use your wire cutters in case your scissors don't cut the wire. I do have that as an issue sometimes. Just going to trim and fill. And again, this could be for any flower, any season, any decor that would match yours. It doesn't even have to be jeans. You could make a pocket out of any material. I think this could be pretty in a sweater material, just to give it that warm look for fall and winter. If you wanted the pocket to look even fuller, you could put some fiber fill into it in order to stuff the pocket. It could even be just a catch-all if you wanted to hold your keys or change or literally pocket change in your bedroom. That would be such a cute hidden idea. I'd love to hear what your ideas are for something like this. It's just an upcycle of everyday material that you can use it in different ways. How would you use it? If you haven't gone ahead and subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and hit that little red bell down below. I am trying to become internet famous, and anything that you can do to help me achieve that will be greatly appreciated, as always. You can also find me on Facebook, where I do a lot of live videos. And I tend to be more personable in the live videos, because sitting here doing a video like this, it's just me talking to the camera, and that can be a little boring as opposed to the interaction in a live video. How cute is this idea? I do just think that is super, super adorable. I do, now at this point I realize I think something needs to be on the pocket. The pocket is a little bit boring. So Dollar Tree has these leaves, and again, I'm using those same markers that I used for the palette sign. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm coloring the edges in a darker, and I'm just going to keep going in with a lighter color. And I'm trying to just get some kind of leafy look. I'm not looking for solid color or perfection. I wanted that more natural fall look. And here we go. I'd like to mention Wreaths by Connie. She's another one of our collaborators. She makes the cutest little angels, and her video is going to be about that. In this video, I'm taking one of my summer decorations. These are just sea urchin candle holders, but when I looked at them, I saw pumpkin. So I said, you know what? We're going to repurpose this. So what I did is I just took some moss from Dollar Tree and a little bit of hot glue, because after I'm done with this, I will pull all of this out and use it again next year back at summertime. So I'm filling it up with some moss, some more hot glue, and then I'm just taking a stick from my yard and pushing it right in there. And voila, I have me a mini pumpkin that didn't cost me anything. So look around your house. I challenge you. See what you have that you can repurpose. I'd like to mention Nonnas Nutty Krafts. She is the originator of this collaboration, and I thank her for allowing me to join such a talented group of ladies. Our next craft is a scarecrow jar. The supplies that I used for this was a gravy jar that was left over from dinner, but any jar would work, a luau skirt, some paint, acrylic paints, chalk paint too, a hat, a wooden bead, or a knob could work. And I lost a video, but all I did is I put the straw from the hula hoop skirt into the jar. But raffia would work, hay would work, anything to just give the, to me it keeps it contained, all that hay, and it gives the illusion of the scarecrow. So to paint the scarecrow, the first thing I did is I just did 2 straps. I did a medium rectangle and 2 upside down triangles for the legs. So I'm trying to give you a simple way of breaking it down. I have no painting skills whatsoever, people. I am purely winging it. But I hope you can see the 2 straps, the rectangle for the chest area, and 2 upside down triangles for the legs. I did end up adding some chalk paint to the acrylic paint for texture. And when I painted it one way with the acrylic, I'm trying to go the other way right now. And my theory was to try and give it that cross hatch look, like denim. I'm just trying to go for it. And here's another one. I lost the footage, but I did paint some little embellishments like pockets and belt loops, and the only thing I did is I just eyeballed it. I used lighter color paints, and for any dots, I used the other end of the paint stick and just dotted it on there. I glued some raffia around the lid of the jar. I'm applying a generous amount of glue in order to put the wood bead on. I did have to take it off and move it because as I was filming it, it's crooked and I had to adjust it. And then I just put the hat on there. And how cute is he? He could be indoor, outdoor. You can change him up with his hat. And you can find the hats at Hobby Lobby. And I just think that this guy's cute. Be sure to let me know if you like this little fella. Another collaborator is Book-Eyed Girl's Wreaths and Things. Be sure to check out her video making these hauntingly beautiful centerpiece and swag. She also sells wreaths, florals, bouquets, and bows. We're going to be making a pumpkin garland now, and again, using Dollar Tree supplies. Surprise! So I had 5 packages of the small, 1 package of medium, and 1 package of large, all from Dollar Tree. Fishing line that I had at home. I had exceptionally large upholstery needles, but any needle that will work going through the styrofoam. And I just went ahead and started with a pattern of small, medium, and large for the one end. And then I knotted it and locked it into place with the smallest being locked. And then I started feeding just small, small, small. And I kept going with all the small ones. But you can use any pattern you like. You can see I'm working in a bucket here. I found these are cat litter trays from Dollar Tree, but what an excellent way to contain whatever you're working with. I didn't have little balls rolling around or little pumpkins rolling all over the place, and I just kept sitting there just feeding them all together. It kept the glitter contained. It made for an easy cleanup. So that's a tip for you, the kitty litter containers from Dollar Tree. I mentioned here that I do think pumpkin wood beads would make a great pattern. And what I mean when I say that is a pumpkin, a wood bead, a pumpkin, a wood bead, a pumpkin. I think that would be super cute. But I didn't think of that until it was too late. So, you know, you're welcome for the idea. And these are just a package of leaves that come from Dollar Tree. It's 2 to the pack. And instead of a tassel for the ending, I thought that the leaf would be a pretty twist on it. And I'm just tying it to the end of the fishing line. And that's it. So now that we made all these cute things, let's go ahead and stack or stage our tiered tray. So this is a tray that I did get from a thrift store, and I love the color of it. It's kind of like a candy apple red, and I think it goes with most holidays. The only one that really is difficult would be Easter, but 4th of July, Christmas, and here Thanksgiving. And I just think that it makes such a cute accent. I'm showing a little block that we had done on Facebook over the summer, and it was just a piece of scrap wood that I hand painted a little flamingo on and wrapped the wood, and it acted as a great little picture or block. I'm not sure what you want to call it. And here's another one. This is a Raydon one that I used them for the summer, but right now I'm putting them down and I'm using them as risers for my project. It gives height. I kind of wish I had more. I need to keep my eyes open for it. So here we've already added our book, our little palette sign, our little scarecrow guy. Those were just 2 pumpkins that were from Dollar Tree. I didn't do anything to them. I did have the intention of doing something, but, you know, time escaped me. So I'm just using a little heavy bird in the back to give it weight. I'm looking to see where I'm going to put our pumpkin. I realize that when I put him in the back, I can't see him at all. I'm like, oh, perfect. I did think that came out adorable up there. Didn't plan it that way, but I have all my white pumpkins together. I have a little bit of denim on the top, a little bit of denim in the bottom. Now I'm going to add my beaded garland. And here I'm going to try and hot glue it to the front, and turned out, didn't want to work that way. You'll see, I'm a gorilla and I knocked it down. So I'm just adding a little drop of hot glue. I'm just trying to hold that there, and I wanted my leaf to just hang. And as me, the gorilla, comes through, I'm going to knock that little bead of glue off and make what I did useless. That was fine though. The hot glue just peeled right off, and I ended up liking it hanging on the side even better. So everything happens for a reason. And here it is. Here is our little tiered tray. using all of the cute things that we made. I truly do hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you go and you visit the other collaborators of this wonderful fall gathering. I genuinely want to say thank you for them allowing me to be part of that creative group. The belief system behind all of us is community over competition, and I genuinely believe that from these ladies. And I thank them for letting me participate in hashtag fall gathering. A special thank you does go out to Carolynne of Nonny's Nutty Krafts, where she lets your imagination and creativity come to life. She is the originator of it. And Melissa of Buckeye Girls Wreaths, she is the one that invited me. And truly, thank you, ladies, for letting me be part of this wonderful experience. I hope everyone enjoyed the crafts presented and that you take a chance to go visit all of the other collaborators. But wait, there's more. This is a rug that I got from Dollar Tree. I used a skid mat also from Dollar Tree. And believe it or not, I found this piece of burlap in the trash. And it was a package and they had a couple of them. Turns out they were curtains, but they were still new. And I love when that happens. Anything that I can find in the trash is always, anything useful that I find in the trash is always good because it was free. And free is wonderful. So what I'm doing here is I'm cutting it to try and be a little bit bigger than my mat itself. I'm just trying to bulk it up a bit. That's all I want to do here. And I loved the fringe on the one side, so I want to try and do that fringe on the other side. And how I'm doing that is simply pulling out the threads. But I want to try and keep it even. So you'll see me, I kept folding it in half to see how far I had to go. So I started by gluing just a piece of the truck mat to the burlap and then the skid mat to the back. Welcome to JunkN. And that's it. If you like what I craft, be sure to subscribe to my channel for access to my imagination.